Just getting set up here, making sure we are all set. All right, we're live. So what I want to do is hop on here, talk about tonight's fights, talk about our DraftKings lineups, any questions anybody has before lineups get locked and everything gets shut down. So big card tonight. Last night we went live just to hang out and chat and BS for a little bit. Now this is a little more functional. So anybody that has questions for about our DraftKings lineups, our bets, our monkey knife fight picks, any of that, we'll be here for a little bit, answer some of those questions. If you guys watch the betting breakdown, you know that we're pretty heavy on Paul Craig. We liked him as an underdog. We threw both myself and Dan through money line bets on Paul Craig, and then Dan had some props with win by submission, win by KO, and obviously his logic there is the wrestling will he'll get on top and he'll pound one out or get a submission from there. Either way, we're both pretty heavy on Paul Craig. And then we had some really nice plays at Bellator last night. What's up, Big Bob? We had some really nice plays Bellator last night. We hit the main event. We both were heavy on Yaroslav Amosov to beat what the hell is his name? To beat oh my God, I can't even think of his name right now. Lima. So that was a nice hit, starting a weekend off right. Hit that bet. I like Lima, but you know the wrestling was going to be too much, and I knew that. So threw that bet down, hit that bet last night at Bellator 260. So now we have a bunch of bets going on tonight. Christian Rodriguez, I like both Craig and Vettori for DFS 100%. Paul Craig is in my lineup. Vettori is in my lineup, and I have bets on both Paul Craig and Vettori. I'm going heavy grapplers this week. Most of my underdog type picks are grapplers. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, you know, both of them got their heads knocked off. Well, that's what's supposed to happen, according to the odds makers. So I don't agree with them this time around, but I'm also going heavy Craig and Vettori. What's up? Oh my gosh, 1337. Good to see you. Didn't see you in last night's live stream. So guys, any questions, comments, anything you want to talk about before these fights go live? Obviously, we dropped our DraftKings lineups. We dropped our bets, all of that. Have you guys done the Bet Online stuff? Did you go to the We Want Picks website, sign up for Bet Online, hit some of those props? If so, let me know which ones you hit. I'm always curious what props people find. I'm a giant diehard fan of those plus 3.5 bets. Dan went plus 5.5 on the main event. That's actually, I may do that one while we're sitting here because take some of the money I won last night at Bellator and do that because I love that freaking bet. Because all that's saying is Vettori only needs to win, I think it's like one full round, and then 2 judges have to give him another round. And then you hit your bet. Actually, I just talked myself into that. So I'm going to go right now and place that bet. Big Bob Bosson. You have both, meaning you have Craig and Vettori just for the DK value. You think Izzy's going to win, but for 6,900, you have Vettori. I got Izzy in my contrarian lineup, though, for the We Want Picks League. Yeah, the We Want Picks League. Freaking Kayla won that thing twice. So we'll see what happens. Vettori and Craig, the grapplers, are pissed off and mean. I'm going heavy grapplers this week, and what's funny is, you know, just my actual background is grappling, so I always tend to lean that way. I like grapplers in general because they can dictate where the fight goes, right? A wrestler can dictate if it stays standing or if it goes to the ground. If you're a striker, you know, you're sort of at the mercy of your takedown defense. With that being said, these last few weeks, I have not been going with the grapplers because what we've noticed lately is judges, for some reason, are not valuing takedowns as much as they used to. But I do think Craig is such a dominant grappler. Vettori is such a dominant grappler that it'll be impossible for them to ignore. And we saw that last night with Nick Newell's fight in Bellator. He had takedown in round 1 with, you know, 1.5 minutes of control. Takedown in round 3 with 1.5 minutes of control. The striking was pretty much even. The second round, Nick 100% lost. But those other 2 rounds, 2 judges were 30-27. Didn't even give him the first or the third with the takedowns, with the control, and everything else was equal. So I had been leaning away from grapplers for a while, but I'm back in the saddle with both Craig and Vettori. Let's see. Comments are coming in quick. So, Christian, your last play is Bilal, Ivalov, or Frivola. Between them, I don't know. I'm thinking Ivalov or Evelev might be the best play because I have Bilal in my lineup. But he could get submitted, right? Or he could just throw a jab out there because he doesn't want to engage on the ground. Frivola, listen, everybody's sleeping on that matchup. He's fighting McKinney. McKinney was a JUCO All-American wrestler. So, yes, Frivola is a very good wrestler, but he's not fighting a striker. He's fighting another wrestler who can strike. Evelev, Ivalov, that's his grappling is relentless, and he is fighting a striker. I'm very curious. King Rob, I'm very curious on Vettori's gas tank. Only reason is because Izzy has good defense. He's going to have to work hard for all 5. Dan did a really good job breaking that down. Dan basically said it's not that Israel Adesanya's defense is so good. It's that his footwork is so good. So once you get to the legs, you can take him down. Just getting to the legs can be tricky because his footwork is amazing. He has that phenomenal high-level kickboxing footwork. But Vettori has a head like a cinder block. He's gotten to those legs in the past, so we think he will get there again. Vettori's going to have so much adrenaline in the first round, he might exert so much energy quickly. So you're definitely basing that off of how dramatic he is in the press conference and at weigh-ins. He was the exact same way against Kevin Holland. And I remember Jacob texting me saying, oh my God, Vettori's going to gas out. Vettori's too emotional. Vettori doesn't look good. I'm going Kevin. But he literally is just an emotional dude. He's just very, very animated, very, very emotional. I'm Italian. My whole family's from Italy. Like, I'm not Italian. Like, oh, I'm Italian. Like, my family's from Italy. Italian's the first language. And very emotional people. Very emotional people. So I think that's just who he is. And I don't think it affects him. Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is a very good point. Your favorite grapplers with the Grundy fight has you a little shook on those picks. The problem with the Grundy fight was, so I thought he won the fight or at least did enough to win, but he did literally nothing with those takedowns and got pieced up on his feet. It's not like the striking was close and then he had takedowns to sort of separate it. He got pieced up on his feet. And then when he did get a takedown, he didn't do much with it. So I'm hoping Vettori will be much busier. Joe, already. Thank you very much, Joe. Appreciate that very much. So I'm hoping that the grapplers in this tonight will be a little busier. So Joe with the super chat. What's everyone? It's fight day. Let's bring the money home tonight. Excited about tonight's fight card as a whole. So speaking of tonight, I'm going to try to live stream. Here's the problem. Jacob's not going to do it. He's got a lot going on. He's not able to do it. So I will be home, but I have my neighbor coming over. So I can't just sit here in my office and be like, yeah, bro, just like, shut up, sit next to me and don't talk. So I'm trying to figure out how to do it in the room. I have a media room in my house, trying to figure out how to do it from there. The camera I'm looking at right now, it's a Logitech Stream Pro, but the wire is run through the wall. Like I'm not dragging that out of the wall. So I literally, when we're done here, I'm probably going to go to Best Buy and buy I'm not trying to spend $600 on a freaking DSLR. So I'm probably going to buy a GoPro or some mid-range camera that I can throw on a tripod and then do that. So live stream tonight is a big maybe. It's 100% going to come down to me and what I can make happen. I do have another studio mic. I've got all that. It's the camera that's going to be a problem, but I will figure that out. King Rob. I'm with you, Bob. Plus, Izzy trying to get back to his feet is going to be a long night for Vettori. Listen, Vettori's a big underdog, as he should be. This is a rematch. He lost the first fight, and I thought I have Vettori in this fight, and I thought the first fight was very clear for Adesanya. It's a split decision on paper. I don't think it was a split. That should have been a unanimous decision. So I do think, though, we've seen Vettori's grappling improvements. We have not seen those improvements from Adesanya, and there are no surprises who's trying to do what here. So I don't think Adesanya is going to knock Vettori out. I do think Vettori can take Adesanya down. So that's why I'm going that direction. Nate Diaz will have the upset of the year. That's a statement and a question. I don't think so. I don't think so. I hope he does. I think it would just be so much fun if he does. And let me know in the comments if you guys are with me. My heart is with Nate. My brain is with Leon. I'm assuming most of us are in that boat. Nate's a mess, but it's just so fun and so entertaining. He's already calling for a title shot, saying, even if I lose, I want a title shot. So him winning will be a ton of fun. I just don't see how. He doesn't have the knockout power. He is very busy on his feet, and he could touch up Leon. But I think Leon can take Nate down and can avoid getting submitted. I just think Leon's better everywhere. I'm surprised they did that fight for Nate. It's just such a hard fight back. Big Bob, have you thought about a Discord for the community? Could have many channels, including a winning lineup, bet channels to showcase the communities. Yeah, so, Big Bob, I don't know about a Discord because what we're trying to do is get everything into one sort of like environment, one world here. And we have wewantpicks.com. Right now, it's just the shell. There's a couple pages there. What we are building out is we're going to build out a forum. So put something in there, and we can run it similar to Discord. Discord is just a fancy forum. We could run it the same way. You guys could have access to that, share all of that stuff, and it'll be organized. Because we have a Facebook group too. The problem with the Facebook group is it's not very organized. It's just a running list of posts where obviously in a forum, you can organize it. So anyway, that will be on the website. The other thing we're putting on the website, one is this live stream. If you look on the little red box on the bottom left, wewantpicks.live. If you're watching this, go watch it there. It's sort of a more immersive experience. We're still tweaking it, trying to figure out how to make it more interactive, but that will be there as well. That's live now. And the other things we're doing to the website, two more things. One, we're going to give you guys the ability to track your picks. So we're going to list out all the fights. You'll be able to go in there, log your picks. We'll have a leaderboard, and we'll figure out giveaways for who's the most accurate every single week and things like that. And then the other thing is we are going to be uploading all of our videos, our analysis, and our notes and tagging them to specific fighters. So 6 months from now, when Marvin Vettori fights again, you can go to our site, wewantpicks.com, search Marvin Vettori, pull up all of our content for him, and just do your research there. And that includes raw notes and things like that. So we're slow rolling it. We're doing it in phases, frankly, because it's stupid expensive. If any of you are WordPress experts, let me know. I thought we would be able to get a website up and running for like $2,000. Absolutely not. Not even close. So that's taking some time. So that question was about Discord. We are going to do a forum. We'll put it on our website. And then, we're trying to bring the community together and give you guys tools. If there are tools that you want and don't have, let us know. Like we're growing. We're trying to figure this out with you. Jill, I think the same will happen this time. Face won't hold up. Yeah, I mean, and I'm assuming you're talking about Nate Diaz with the, they have the cartilage. Him and his brother have the scar tissue, and they cut up so easy. So I think all of us, but me, Jacob, and Dan said we think it may get stopped, but not for a knockout or anything like that. Just too many cuts. Big Bob, the leaderboard idea. Yep. Jacob will see Nate's brain this week. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to this card. I'm more excited for this pay-per-view than I have been in the last few. There's a lot of really good matchups. I'm obviously super excited for the main event, the co-main event. That's obvious. But I'm really looking forward to see what happens between Belal Muhammad and Damian Maia. Let me know who you guys think that wins that fight. Dan and I broke that down because Jacob wasn't here. My phone's blowing up, and I just can't not look at it. That's going to be so interesting to me. It's either going to be Damian Maia showing the world, like, yeah, I don't age. As long as I can grapple, I'm going to win these fights. And that may be what happens. Or it's going to be Belal Muhammad being like, yeah, I'm 15 years younger than you, and I have better wrestling, better striking. My jiu-jitsu is not as good, but who cares when it's good enough to not get submitted, and he'll blow through. So I either see this is Damian Maia sort of the beginning of the end, where he's going to start to nosedive after this, or he's still right there, and his last fight was, I don't want to say a fluke because he got punched in the mouth, and that's what happens, but Damian Maia was winning that fight against Gilbert Burns and got caught. Jill, Maia, too hard to deal with. He is very hard to deal with. The hardest decision I had to make yesterday with my DraftKings lineup was I have Bilal. Switching Bilal with Frivola. That's a decision I have to make. Who is going to score more points? I went with Bilal instead of Frivola because I think Bilal has proven himself to be very, very, very good, can be top 10 on the planet. Frivola has not. He has a last-minute replacement. He's sort of young and up and coming and improving, but he's also fighting a really good grappler, and there's too many questions there. I know what Bilal is. I know what Damian is. The question is, what is Damian going to do? The question isn't, can Bilal win? So that's why I didn't make that switch, but that is going to be a tough fight. For some reason, I couldn't bet the same fight twice on MKF. I can do it for the more or less, and then if I choose the same fight, it only allows me to choose that. That's so weird. That's so weird. You know what? I don't know if I have one that I want to do right now, but I'm going to pull it up on my other screen here because I did that with the main event. I did more and less, and it had no problem. And so we know the guy that sets the lines, and we know that, you know, that team at Monkey Knife Fight because we have that deal and we've worked with them. And I texted him the other day saying, what do you think about me playing more and then less? And he was like, people do that all the time. He's like, that's basically turning it into a minus 200. So as long as you're positive you'll hit one of those, it's a great bet or play. If you're not, you end up losing twice as much money. So you 100% should be able to do it. I did it, and there's no reason not to. There's 4 possible outcomes. By doing that, you're choosing 2. You could still lose. So it's not like Monkey Knife Fight wouldn't allow it because what do they care? You're just playing twice as much. Checked on your phone too. Which fight was it, Big Bob? Let me know which fight it was. Maybe that fight for some reason has some weird glitch, and I'll take a look. Yeah, so Jill, Dan, super big on Drew Dober as well. To the point where I think Brad Riddell's going to win, but listening to Dan's breakdown when we were filming, I literally was like, damn, maybe I make a switch. And I was going to switch Eric Anders for Drew Dober. And I still might, but then my lineup is basically exactly the same as Dan's, and I got to beat him tonight. But yeah, Drew Dober is very good. I have Riddell. I think Riddell is more technically sound in the boxing. Drew Dober is the better kickboxer. Drew Dober has more knockout power. I just think Brad Riddell is like just going to be bouncing all over the place, touching him up, never in the same spot twice. Brad Riddell and Drew Dober will not be able to get off the kicks or the big power punches. But damn, was Dan convincing when he picked Drew Dober. Andrew, do you know why Monkey Knife Fight has 3.6 odds for NBA, but only 3 odds for UFC? I don't know. Probably because the UFC is easier and more logical than the NBA. You know, in any NBA game, anything could happen at any point. Where with UFC, that's your matchup, and you know it's only total strikes or fantasy points. So it was probably they sat down and said, "What's our exposure here?" And they decided UFC was a little too risky. If you're on it, I'll tell you right now, with 100% honesty, myself, Dan, I'm pretty sure Jacob we've never had a net loss. I have made one single deposit in Monkey Knife Fight when we first signed up. I've only taken money out since then. Only. Every week I take out X, I leave in Y, I play Y, I win, I take out X, and I can, show goes on. So NBA is a much crazier game. Jacob's a big NBA fan, and he got smoked in Monkey Knife Fights. So that must just be why. It's only for more or less. The rapid fire is still 3x. Okay. MKF will show news and updates now and then. See what else we got. It's seasonal. Oh, that's a good point. Big Bob. Yeah, yeah, that could be. Big Bob, for the Moreno fight, I currently have less. I'm debating if I should do more. I did both. I did less, and more. So, the only way I get screwed is if it is a one-sided beating for many rounds. If Figgy beats the crap out of Moreno, gets way past his number, and some reason Moreno can't get anything done, that is the only way I lose. My daughter is like screaming for me right now, but it's nap time, sister. You're going to deal with it. That's why we did more and less. And we'll see. It's an experiment, basically. I have not. Damn it, Will. You asked, have you done the Monkey Knife fight more or less 25-time predictions? I have not. Let me log in now. I've mentioned it before. I'm a conservative. I like consistent money every single week. I'm not, the like Jacob with the 9-fight parlay. That's not me. That's not my style. Even with my bets, you'll see they're a little more conservative. And even with DraftKings, I basically don't do the GPPs. I do all 50-50s and double ups because I know that's consistent money I'll get every single week. And that's what I like. Where do you see the 25 times for the UFC? Both of these kids are screaming my name. Sorry, girls. It's quiet time. Yeah, damn it, Will. Let me know where you see the 25 times. I haven't even seen that, honestly. Yeah, and it is. So I know a lot of people are chasing, especially in DraftKings. And I know, Jill, you're big in DraftKings. Let me know what you do. I know you guys are chasing $100,000 payouts. And I've mentioned it before. We've had 3 comments in the last few months. One was somebody used Dan's lineup, and I forget what the number was. It was like 20 or 30 grand they won. And then 2 others were like 6 grand, 4 grand, and stuff like that. I throw something in. I'm doing a star shootout, and I don't see 25x. I don't see. Oh my goodness, there it is. Oh, you just have to scroll to the right. Why is this kid screaming my name? You know what? Let me put this on the screen. We'll walk through one of these together. See what I got going on here. Live chat versus nap time. Yeah, tell me about it, Brent. And my wife's like, hey, I'm going to run the target. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it. And my oldest is 4, so she doesn't really nap. But she sits in her room, nice and quiet. Okay, so can you even see this? Let me make this bigger. Come on. Nice and big. Here we go. Okay. All right. So let's check out one of the 25x. We'll do 25 times. All right. We have to pick 6 of these. Let's do this together. Joanne Calderwood, more or less than I don't know if you hear these girls screaming. Joanne Calderwood, more or less 131. I'm going less. Evloev, more or less than 101. Damn, these are all high lines. You're going more on Calderwood, Anton? Oof. Evloev. I'll go more. All the takedowns. Drew Dober. I'll go more. Dawodu. Less. Brad Riddell, more. Lauren Murphy, 62. I'll go more. 25 times. Let's do a couple of these. Oh, I'm liking these. We'll do 5. So how many times can I play this? Anybody here a math genius? Let's submit this. If I can play this, if I'm 25 timesing my buy-in and I can play this 5 times, because if I'm positive about some of these, but the others I'm not, I could just play it again and swap them. Both these freaking girls are screaming. All right, lock this in. I think Lauren wins as well, Jill. I picked Lauren to win. I completely agree with you. I'm taking veteran savvy and just power, honestly. All right, let's see what else we got. We'll go star shootout again. Let's do the main card. All right. 6 for 6. We just tried. Let's do 5 for 5. Nate Diaz, over 142. Let's go less. Figgy, over 121. This is one that we're going to play 2 of. I'll do more. Izzy, more. Leon, oh boy. You know what? Should we, you tell me what you guys want to do here. Should we, oh, David's saying only 1 entry. Should we do more across the board or less across the board? I think every single one of these fights, that's how it's going to go. All more or all less. Let me know. I'll let a few of you weigh in very quickly. All right, let me check on why these animals are screaming. Let me know in the comments if you want to go more across the board or less across the board on this Monkey Knife Fight pick. All right, here we go. I'm trying, guys. What do we got? You'd go less. Everybody's saying less. Thanks, Jill. I like my picks this week, too. How'd you guys feel with no Jacob? He definitely adds, he lightens the mood, makes things a little more fun. Can't do less for all. Why not? I can right now. What are you talking about? No, I don't. Let's see if you're right, Big Bob. Should I lock this in? Large Robert, you are correct. Damn. Weasels. All right, so we're not going to beat the system with that. All right, so let's do this the right way. What was Izzy's strike line against Jan? I have no idea. If you go back, you'll have to, I can't pull it up now. If you go back to that video we did, you'll know it there. Okay. All right, I definitely like less here. Figgy's going to be less or more. Izzy, oh, man. Who should I go more on? Let me know who I should go more on. Not Bilal. Definitely not Bilal. Leon is 5 rounds, but so is Izzy. So is, man, Nate and Leon. Maybe I go less Nate, more Leon. What do you guys think? Does that make sense? Leon. All right, lock it in. We're going to do a bunch of these. I don't know how the hell we have this deal with them, and I didn't even notice these. All right, new game. All right, let's try. We'll do the same thing. Let's do 4 out of 4, 8 times our money. Nate, Figgy, Israel, Leon. All right, I'm not doing this one. We basically just did the exact same thing. Let's go to, we'll do the early card star shootout. Yep, Big Bob. That's exactly what I'm about to do. Guys, if you have any questions, let me know. If you let me know some of what your lineups look like. I'm definitely going to be playing a lot today, more than usual. Let's do a 4 fight. We got Panny less. Alexis Davis. All right, we'll do Felipe Moore. Faraz Moore. Alexis Davis. I think Alexis Davis wins this. Do you think Alexis Davis is more or less than 86.5? Anna with the parlay question. Yeah, I'll tell you what my parlay was. And we have a full betting breakdown video if you didn't watch that. My parlay, Dan and I both have parlays. Jacob has a 9-fight parlay if you want to check that out. My parlay was Leon Edwards and Movsar Evliev. The reason I did that is I think Leon Edwards is a lock. The problem is his odds are crazy. So you smash him up with somebody else that you also think is a lock, and you get much more favorable odds. So I had that 2-fight parlay with Leon Edwards and Movsar. You could do it with Figgy. Somebody said Figgy will give you the exact same payout. So you can do that as well. I like 2-fight parlays. You want to do a 3rd fight, do Leon, Movsar, and then throw Figgy in there. So you have nice 3 fights. They should all win. If you are a little more risky, Paul Craig is a great underdog pick. At least I think so, and Dan thinks so. Throw him in with those guys, and that'll jack your odds up because he's a plus fighter and everybody else is a minus. Yeah, so they do, Jill. So Jill says, Monkey Knife Fight must really love how you promote them. I think it's great. Yeah, I mean, so we, we've got to deal with them, so we're not doing it for free. With that being said, we love what they do, and they love what we're doing. What I really enjoy about Monkey Knife Fight is it's all the fun of fantasy, but there's no circumstances that matter to me. Meaning I look at the lines, I play the lines, and that's it. I don't have to play against thousands of other people who may be better than me today or not as good as me. I don't need to have a 6-fight, DraftKings, I have 6 fights and one of them goes the wrong way. Winning money may not be a reality anymore. So that's what I really, really like about it. It's me versus the line. And it's not, me versus the world. And the payouts are rock solid. I mean, even in DraftKings, a 50-50 or a double up, all you do is double your money. A 50-50, you don't even double your money. You get like your money back plus 40%. So here you triple your money if you hit it. That's why I like to play multiple. So, even if I don't hit every single one, I'll more than triple, I'll more than double my money across the board. So I love what they do. They love what we do. Do you do the rapid fire for each shootout? No, I don't. Well, let's take a look. I got nothing else going on. So let me lock this in first. Alexis Davis, more or less? I think she wins. But 86.5 strikes. It's not a low number. Or sorry, you know what? I'm going to do it. Alexis, low. 5 to win 40. Submit it. I'm going to lose all of these. This is what happens. I'm going to lose all of them. Let's go to... Yeah, I like the early card better. I agree with you. We'll go early card, rapid fire. What do we got? So, Carlos, Felipe, and Canny. I'm going to go Carlos over Panny. And then Chase Hooper or Faraz. And Chase only gets a half. $5. Here's your rapid fire. Francis Alcipi. Thank you very much, Francis. Anybody here watching the stream, hit the like button. It helps us out. And this isn't me just playing on the Monkey Knife Fight site. If you guys have questions, let me know. Check out the link for Monkey Knife Fight, playmkf.com/wewantpicks, and you can play as well. $5. Submit it. We'll lock that in. Yeah, so I know. And I like, it's funny because the fantasy point lines and the strike lines are usually very similar, which is odd to me. But you do get 0.6 points for the significant strikes. You get some takedown points, and takedowns defended is interesting. That may be great for the co-main and the main. There's going to be plenty of takedowns defended. Davis was your sleeper, Peter. Yeah, so I like Davis as well. I'm a big veteran fan. I think vets, after fighting young, I think the vets, there's something to be said about what they've accomplished, what they've done. I really like Alexis Davis in this fight. And that's why I did the 3.5 bet. I don't know if you watched the betting guide, but I did a plus 3.5 bet on Alexis Davis. So all that means is she has to win one single round and I win my bet. If she loses the fight and loses 2 rounds but wins 1, I hit my bet. If she wins outright, I hit my bet. So I'm loving that one quite a bit. Joe Todoro, could you see Vettori getting Adesanya tired and maybe in later rounds possibly sub or TKO? Anything's possible. I don't see that happening. Dan did do a quarter of a unit. Let me look at Dan's bets on my other screen here. He has so many. What a degenerate. Marvin Vettori. No, so Dan did. No, so we it's possible, but if Jan didn't put him away, I don't think Vettori's going to put him away. And I'm about to place that plus 5.5 bet on Vettori right now as well. Jill, I do. I didn't put any money on Vendramini, but I think Vendramini wins that fight. I think Vendramini is a great pick. This is going to be a great day for the Italians. We have Vendramini and Vettori. I think Vendramini wins that fight. I think Dan literally made that exact same comment now that I said it out loud. I think he has Vendramini as well. All right, I'm going to do this plus 5.5 bet. Anybody on Bet Online, have you done the 3.5 bets? If so, how'd those work out for you? They are by far, I don't shut up about them, but honestly, sometimes people need to hear things more than once before it sinks in. But I'm a giant fan of those plus 3.5 bets. So I'm going to do a plus 5.5 because it's 5 rounds on Marvin Vettori. And all that means is Marvin Vettori needs to win. It's not even 2 full rounds. He needs to win 1 round and like a half, according to the judges. Jesse, no last-minute changes, meaning no fights dropped, no issues. We have a whole fight card. So I have not changed anything. None of us have changed anything from our lineup video last night. But anybody in the community, jump right in. Peter Jones. Listen, I'll be honest. It's hard for me to be objective. I'm Nick's manager. So, and I love Nick as a human being. So I obviously see things differently. With that being said, I thought Nick won the first round and the third round. Second round, he didn't win, but it wasn't a mauling. Here's the problem with those judges and how they saw that fight. Obviously, Nick has 1 arm, right? Or 1 hand, however you want to phrase that. So some of the exchanges look awkward. And the way he turns his hips and moves, some of the exchanges look awkward and they look like he's on the wrong side of it. And Nick did get tired. At the end of the day, he got tired because he was marching forward, dictating the pace, constantly throwing volume, constantly looking for takedowns, had control against the cage, 2 different takedowns. So 1 in the first, 1 in the third. The 1 in the third looked fantastic. I just don't know how 2 judges saw that 30-27. You and I, not you literally, but you and I could have a debate and have an intelligent debate over should have been 29-28 for Nick or 29-28 for Bobby. In no world will I listen to an argument that Nick lost all 3 of those rounds. That's absurd to me. And those judges were just looking at who looked more fluid and who looked more calm and not at who was actually being more effective in their game plan. Nick's game plan was strike, takedown. That's exactly what he did in the first round, exactly what he did in the third round. So I don't know how somebody saw that and said, nope, Nick lost all 3 rounds. I think it's absurd. And of course, he's not going to look as fluid as Bobby King. He has 1 hand. Like, the exchanges are going to be a little different, and it's absurd that it went that way. Absolutely absurd. So that's my rant about that. Listen, I would love if Brandon Moreno pulled it off. I like dominance. So, I don't like when the belt changes hands every 10 seconds. But Brandon Moreno could not be a better guy. Just couldn't. Even the weigh-ins, the press conference, he gets shoved and he smiles, all good. I would not mind if Brandon Moreno won that fight. And the way Figgy made weight, it's possible, honestly. If Brandon Moreno can bring the heat, tons of wrestling, tons of takedowns, keep it in his face, those later rounds, Figgy's going to be exhausted. He barely made weight. Literally 1 minute left. King Rob, I have the less more very early on Monkey Knife Fight for Diaz and Edwards. I went less on Diaz at 165 and more on Edwards for 48. Edwards' line was only 48 strikes. Jesus. Would have loved to hammer that line. That last fight was great too, and he looked in great shape. Yeah, that last fight was amazing. That was an awesome fight. There was no clear winner because of the illegal strike, but that was an awesome, awesome fight. You guys have any bets going? Let me know in the comments what bets you have. I'm sitting here. I'm feeling very degenerate-y. I've got Bet Online pulled up, and I'm about to do this Marvin Vettori bet. And once I start clicking around, I turn into Dan. So I'm going to do Marvin Vettori plus 5.5. Yeah, that's plus odds. Damn. Crazy. Should I put 2 units? 2 units. I'll do 1 unit. I'll play it safe. Tiffany, we're live on the internet. All right. Well, me and the 10,000 people watching, just so you know. Let me know your bets. My wife walked in, so I have to warn her so she doesn't end up on camera. I don't need you perverts making comments. Let's see. Vittoria's going to lose your money. I don't think so. So in order for me to lose that bet, that means what? What?
I'm about to go to an open house.
Why?
Around the corner. I'm just going to look.
Don't come back home. My wife said she's going to look in her open house. No. We live here. We'll beat it. We have moved. Just a little view into my personal life. I'm from Connecticut. My wife is a traveling nurse from Texas. I met her in Connecticut. We got together. We moved to Florida because she was like, Connecticut's too cold. I can't handle this. I didn't want to move to Texas. We moved to Florida. Then in Florida, we had a kid. Oh, can't live here. We got to live in a different part of Florida. Then we moved to a different part of Florida. And then we moved back to Connecticut. And then now we live in Texas. I have moved like 6 times in 6 years. And she just had the nuts to come in here and tell me she's looking at an open house up the street. Not happening. No. Don't come home. Anyway, Antsy said, don't. Vittori's going to lose your money. No. He might. But in order for him to lose, so all I need him to do is win almost 2 rounds. He could lose the next 3. And I hit this bet. That's what the plus 5.5 bet does for you. So for me to not get paid on this Vettori bet means he gets smoked all 5 rounds or gets stopped. I just don't see that happening. So I already placed that bet. Already placed. Maybe she is going for the little sandwiches. Well, then she better come back with some warm cookies or whatever else they have in that open house. Especially like I live in North Texas. Right now, I probably couldn't afford my own house, what the property values just did. It's crazy. What is what? What are you asking me? What is what? Are you asking me what the odds were? What are you asking me? Yeah, it might be nicer. Yeah, there's always something nicer. That's if anybody is the grass is greener, it's her. Good luck. Yeah. Yeah, this is what's gonna happen. She's gonna come home. She's like, oh boy, the office. It would be such a nice studio. You can do all your recordings. Where now, when I do my recordings, it's the kids. But if we're moving, so supportive. So supportive. All right. How do you feel about rapid fire fantasy points? I play a few of these. Well, Jesse, Well, let's take a look. I just had it up on the screen. I just did a few. Let's go. We'll do a new game. Thank you, Shafiq. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody that's joining. If there's new people here, for the existing ones, I'm sorry, here's my spiel. For the new people here, we break down fights every single week. You're seeing me now because Dan Kramer, professional fighter, is traveling. Jacob Lyons is, I think he's like packing because he's moving apartments in a few weeks. So it's me. I'm home. Kids are napping. I'm doing the stream. But the show is me, Dan Kramer, who's a professional fighter, Nick Newell, who's a professional fighter, and our buddy Jacob, who is just a diehard fan who's really funny. We break down fights every single week. We give you our picks, our bets, our DraftKings lineups, 100% free. We don't hide anything behind a Patreon. There's nothing behind a paywall. We do ask that you share the wealth with super chats or donations, and you click the join button, become members. But by no means are we hiding anything behind a paywall. None of this. Here's one bet, but join my Patreon for $29 a month and you'll get the rest of them. We're not doing that. That's not who we are. So Jesse, let's take a look. I'll explain this in 1 second, J2 Fly. We'll take a look on the Monkey Knife fight. Let me update this link too so you guys can see. Banner, play mkf.com/we picks. So, J2 Fly, can I explain that Vettori bet one more time? So, the way the plus 5.5, the way the plus 3.5 bets work is you're basically buying points. So, anytime you've watched a professional fight and they announce the scorecards at the end, they'll say, Judge Cecil Peoples says 30-27. Judge whatever the hell says 30-27. So every single judge has to score every single round 10 points or less for each fighter. What the plus point bets do is they total all of that up. So they'll take all three judges' scores for all 3 rounds and total them up. And then you give the person you bet on an extra 3.5 points, an extra 5.5 points if it's 5 rounds. The simple math is 3.5 points means that fighter only has to win 1 round on 3 judges' scorecards, and then he wins the fight. He could lose the fight, but wins the bet. And then plus 5.5, it's definitely not 1 round. It's not quite 2. It's like you have to win 1 full round, and then 2 judges have to give you another round, and you win your bet. So the reason I love those bets are Marvin Vettori can lose this fight, and I can still get paid. I have Alexis Davis. Alexis Davis can lose that fight, but all she needs to do is win 1 round. So on those bets, I'm just yelling at the TV like, win the round, win the round, win the round. After that, I don't care. Just survive, and I'll get paid. So that's what that bet is. And that's why Bet Online is the only sportsbook that offers it. If you live in a state where sports betting is just open and free and legal, you're still not going to get those plus 3.5. That's why we love Bet Online. The ticker across the bottom tells you where to go, how to do it. And we use Bet Online because of the plus 3.5. They have a ton of props, but we were using them ahead of time. And long before you ever saw us promote Bet Online, you saw us do those 3.5 bets. And that's why. So if you like an underdog fighter and you're not sure they're going to win a fight, but you're positive it's going to be a competitive fight and they're going to take a round, head over there, look at the 3.5, and you'll probably get some good odds and then take that. You're not going to get, let's say it's a plus 200 fighter, you're not going to get plus 200 on the 3.5 because, it's very favorable, but you might get plus 100, which is even money, or minus 110, which is basically even money. So it's almost a guarantee. Before I hit this, Daryl Jones, do you think that Diaz will have a decent amount of points in DK, even in a loss, given the pitter patter? He might. Kyle P, thank you for the subscription. He might. He could also score nothing. I would not touch Diaz in DraftKings. I just wouldn't. I don't see him. I don't see an upset. I don't see Diaz pulling off an upset. And even with the pitter patter, it's only significant, it's point 0.2 or something crazy. So there's not enough points there. I just don't I don't like Diaz for DraftKings. I just don't. Now, Diaz and Monkey Knife Fight, where you can triple your money, that's a whole different conversation. Whole different conversation. And anybody new here that doesn't know, I have Monkey Knife Fight pulled up on the screen right now. Let's walk through. Jesse, like an hour ago, you asked about the rapid fire. So let's jump in. Anybody who doesn't know what this is, Monkey Knife Fight, you basically come in here, you pick a fight. We'll do the prelim card. Let's grab a rapid fire. It's fantasy points. But basically, all I need to do in this case is say who is going to score more fantasy points, Drew Dober or Masvar Ivalov, or Joanne Calderwood over Eric Anders. And then if we hit the little I, this will give us a fantasy points. Significant strikes are 0.6 points. Knockdowns are 12. Takedowns are 6. Defended takedowns are 3. Submission attempts are 5. And then you get bonuses for first round stoppages or second, third, fourth, fifth. So Drew Dober versus Movsar. I'm going to go Movsar because of all the takedowns. And he's getting 6.5 point handicap. Joanne Calderwood and Eric Anders. This one is tricky, but I think Lauren Murphy is tough and is going to hold Joanne Calderwood against the cage for a meaningful amount of time. So I'm going to go with Eric Anders because I think he's going to get a knockout or at least a knockdown. And we just saw that was 12 fantasy points. I'll throw 10 on this one. I like this one. 10 to win 30. That is why this right here, 10 to win 30, is exactly why I love Monkey Knife Fights. You triple your money. I can lose this, and it's okay because I've played so many other ones. It'll all work itself out. By the end of the night, I spend all of my money. So I'll be transparent with you. I have like a couple $100 in here. I play all of it every single week. Like, look at these are all of my plays right here. I play all of it every single week. I end up with almost double every single week. I withdraw a bunch. I keep the rest in there, and I do it all over again. So anybody in here, I'll probably be on here for about another half an hour or so. So if you have questions, let me know. J2 Fly, Leon is huge. Yeah, Leon is massive. He's very big for that weight class, very long, and he uses that length really nicely. Dude, Leon's the real deal. Leon can and should be fighting for a title. He's great in range, meaning he can keep the distance, pick you apart from the outside, and close up. He's got those nasty elbows, super busy. He hits you with elbows, knees, punches, kicks. He's fantastic. Leon Edwards is the real deal. Remember, Joanne used to fight at 115 and Lauren at 135. And great insight there. And Lauren's whole game plan is just using her physique, like her size, her strength, to just muscle you and control you. Granted, she's not the most technical fighter in the world, but she is streaking. She is one of the most determined women I have ever seen fight. If you listen to her interviews, there is no backup plan. It's like, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to beat everybody that I can possibly beat. Thank you for liking the stream, Macy. Thank you very much, or Macy. I'm the most miserable person to pronounce the name. So I like Lauren a lot in this fight. I think, JoJo Calderwood is a great fighter. She's a favorite, and I understand why she's a favorite, but styles make fights, and I just think the physicality of Lauren's going to get that done. What else we got here? Yeah, Jill. Lauren wants it for sure. I mean, even her last fight, the post-fight interview, like you could just see it in her, like just talking about her life, and there's just not another option. Like a Cash App card, how does someone get their money off of? What is this? What are you talking about? Bienvenue? What are you talking about? Let me know what you're asking there. I heard this is Vettori short camp from fight to fight. You think that plays a factor? Yeah, I mean, Vettori's going to need to be in good shape, and we saw that with the Nick Newell fight. He's going to have to grapple, and grappling is freaking exhausting. But he did just fight pretty recently. I have to assume he's in shape, and he got a full camp in. Izzy also fought came off a loss, and it'll be very interesting to see what his first MMA loss will do. He did handle it in stride, meaning he was like, I've lost in everything I've ever done. It's fine. It's not a big deal. I'll move on, which I actually love that mentality because I don't think the loss will break him, but it will be interesting to see. Never mind, y'all. Have a wonderful day and good luck in your bets, Angelo. Peace and love, my people. Yeah, thanks, J2 Fly. Thanks for hopping in here. Appreciate all the feedback. Joe Todoro. Dan and I almost have the same lineup, except I don't have Frivola, and I'm leaning towards more on Anders. Yeah, so me and Dan have a very close lineup as well. I went Anders over Drew Dober. He has Drew Dober. I have Anders. They're basically the same price. I can afford both. I think Anders is more expensive. I can afford both. Drew Dober is going to have output for days. That is going to be, I don't think there's a stoppage. I think that's a 3-round war. Tons of strikes. Very high scoring fight in DraftKings. In Monkey Knife Fight, link here. In Monkey Knife Fight, I went to more on him versus Brad Riddell. But I think Anders can get a knockout and a stoppage, and there's always more points than that. Yeah, and John TBA, thanks for joining. Haven't seen your name in here. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Appreciate the comment. You're saying as long as Adesanya doesn't get under his skin. Yeah, Vettori's super emotional. We've seen it in every fight he's ever had. If Kevin Holland didn't get under his skin in the middle of the fight, I don't think Adesanya will. And I know if you watch the embeddeds, we've seen a couple little exchanges there. But I just think Marvin Vettori is just an emotional dude. But at the end of the day, I don't think it affects him, right? I think it's all out there. It's all, whatever he thinks and feels, it's out there. There's no bottling it up. It's out there. He's Italian. I'm Italian. That's just how we are. That's how my whole family is. So I think he'll be okay. Jill high on Drew Dober. I get it. Like I told you, Dan almost convinced me to swap Anders for Dober. I just think Brad Riddell's a little too clean in his boxing and a little faster with the footwork. So I think he'll touch up Drew Dober from the outside. But if Drew Dober takes his head off, that wouldn't be surprising. Stewart has a better chance. Light heavyweight is Stewart's original weight. Yeah, I agree. And let's be honest, he basically had the knockout in the first fight. It's a rematch. And he had the knockout the first fight. Then he threw an illegal knee for some weird reason. Outside of that knee, he had the knockout. He wins that fight. I'm hoping it goes again. I told you my concerns last night. I just don't. My only concern is that Anders is going to chase that exact same knockout. Once you start chasing it, now you're exposing yourself. You're overcommitting. You're throwing too hard. All of a sudden, you're in the third round. You didn't see that coming, and you're exhausted. So I didn't. That's my concern there. Jill with Dober and Anders 8,500, 8,600 gotta be high owned. Yeah, so somebody we know gives us really good stats and insight into the ownership projections. Take a guess who the projected highest owned fighter will be on this card. I'm very curious. I'm going to go to my phone to look at his text to see who he said was number 2. I remember number 1. Who did he say was number 2? I saw Dober fight in Cleveland years ago. Yeah, Dober's an awesome fighter. We picked against him last fight because he was fighting Islam. But other than that, nope, it's not Figueiredo. Other than that, Dober's a stud. It's an interesting matchup for him. Where the hell is this text message? What is his name? There we go. Man, I'm not going to find this. Oh, here we go. The projected ownership, 43% projected ownership is Israel Adesanya, which is interesting. What am I missing? Oh, boy. J2 Fly. So if people didn't know, Drew Dober had a brother named Kenny, and he was murdered years ago. My goodness. That got Drew into fighting, and he made it to the UFC. That's amazing. His brother was shot to death for nothing. My goodness. That was like, yeah, that is horrible. That was like Jacob's story last night about McKinney, how he got like unbelievably high on a cocktail of hard drugs, was arrested, tweaking, freaking out. And that was only a few years ago. He's from your city. What city is that? Cleveland? Is that what I saw earlier? Yeah, man, fighters are different people in general. Like Dan is on the show, Nick is on the show. They're two of the most level, grounded fighters I've ever worked with, or that I know. I manage both of them, but that I've ever worked with or known. I mean, fighters are very egotistical, understandably so, right? You have to think you're the best in the world. Fighters, in many cases, are emotional, head cases. Like, I'll never forget when Jacob was here a few months ago on what's his name's last fight. Oh my God. I forget who it was. He has long hair and he shaved his head before the fight. And Jacob was like, what's going on? Blah, blah. I'm like, I guarantee the weight cut, he was in his own head, started to freak out, shaved his head just out of like an emotional breakdown for no reason. Post-fight interview, that's exactly what he said it was. And that's just the life of a fighter. I mean, knowing you're going to get into a fist fight in 6 weeks, it's hard. It's hard on you mentally. It's hard on you physically. It's hard. Trains in Colorado and lives in Colorado. Okay. Jesse with the PSA, 4 hours left to lock in your DraftKings lineups. I'm very confident in mine. Should we pull up DraftKings? Let me pull up my DraftKings. I'm very confident in my lineup. Let me show you mine and Daniel's. And you guys give me feedback on this lineup. I'm very curious. Dober is from Omaha, Nebraska. All right, let's show this on the screen. Kapow. So we have my lineup on the left and Dan's on the right. So if you don't know, Dan and I bet money every single week. It's just a perpetual bet whose lineup is going to have more points. And then we Venmo each other at the end of the night. So I have Marvin Vettori. I think Marvin Vettori, I've mentioned this before, we've seen the improvements in his grappling. We've seen what he's been able to do since his loss to Izzy. And we've seen, he just keeps getting better and better. I'm not saying Izzy doesn't get better and better. I'm just saying I don't think his takedown defense has got better, and his and his grappling has not gotten any better. It was Brian Ortega. Thank you very much, Joe. Thank you very much. So I have Marvin Vettori, and he was dirt cheap. Then I have Figueiredo. I think Figueiredo has a nasty chip on his shoulder, comes out there, lights the earth on fire. I have Belal Muhammad. This is the one I'm nervous about. I might switch Belal for Frivola, but it's just so nerve-wracking. And we talked about this. Let me know in the comments. I'm curious you guys' opinion. It's just so nerve-wracking because Belal is a proven entity, but he has a really tough fight. Frivola is not a proven entity. It's just an interesting matchup. And people keep saying it's grappler in Frivola versus striker versus McKinney. It's not. McKinney is taking people's heads off, but he's not a primary striker. He was a Division II college wrestler, a JUCO, which is junior college, All-American. So he can wrestle. That's what makes me nervous. They never found out who killed Dober's brother, and I believe he takes him to the cage with him. What's up, New York? My man, pots and pants. I'm from Connecticut, but I'm from Southern Connecticut, which, Connecticut's split into two. You're either Northern Connecticut, so you're a Patriots fan and a Red Sox fan, or you're Southern Connecticut and you're a Yankees and Giants or Mets and Jets. Mets and Jets people, I feel very bad for you. I'm sorry. I'd keep Muhammad over Frivola. That's my thought. That's why I'm leaving it that way. But if Frivola comes out and smokes McKinney, I'm going to feel like an idiot. But I am going to keep it this way. Then I have Paul Craig. We've talked about this. People are hating this pick. I totally understand why you're hating this pick. He is a big-time underdog. But you know what? That's what we're here for. Dan and I just see something in him. We see the wrestling. We see the grappling. There's just something about him that I absolutely think he will get done. And then I have Leon Edwards. That's a mauling. I think Leon beats Diaz. Bell to bell, it is 5 rounds. I have 2 of the 3 favorites in the 5-round fights. And then I have Eric Anders. Eric Anders won that fight the first time around, and I think he's going to win it the second time around. Yeah, I don't think – it'll be very interesting to see. I don't think he's afraid either, And I also think it's just literally in his bones to wrestle. I don't think he cannot wrestle. So I don't think he has the ability to fight, even if he is afraid to go to the ground. I don't think he has the ability to fight Damian Maia and not shoot a takedown. So it's going to end up on the ground. I just hope he gets his positions and works from there and doesn't just start throwing like crazy. Corey, thank you very much for liking the stream. I appreciate that. Maia is going to sleep. I love him. My wallet is hoping that's what happens. But I would feel bad if that's what happened. Everybody's afraid of Damian Maia. Honestly, as they should be. He's so sneaky on the ground. I love your avatar, by the way, DBA. He's just so – he is literally the most, in my opinion, I could be wrong statistically, but the most effective jiu-jitsu practitioner in MMA. We've seen credentialed people not get submissions. Damian Maia, I mean, he doesn't care. Your wallet will be fatter. Let's hope so. That's the goal. That's my lineup on the left. This is my lineup here. On the right. Oh, it doesn't show my mouse. Oh, that's because I didn't click in. There it is. On the right, this is Dan's lineup. Marvin Vettori for the exact same reasons I have him. Figueiredo for the exact same reason I have him. Paul Craig for the exact same reason I have him. But then he has, and then Leon Edwards for the exact same reason. Our opposites are Drew Dober and Matt Frivola. Instead of Drew Dober, I have Eric Anders. Instead of Matt Frivola, I have Bilal Muhammad. Let me know between those two fights, who do you think wins? Is Dan going to Venmo me or am I going to Venmo Dan? I hope he Venmos me. I love when that happens. Correct, Jill. Correct. Damian Maia has been in some boring fights, but the good news is he doesn't take damage. Or good news for him, he was just knocked out. So everybody's like, but that'll happen, and it happens to everybody. But for his age, 43 or something like that, he doesn't have a 43-year-old body. He hasn't been hit in the face like a normal 43-year-old that's stuck around in MMA too long. Maia goes to sleep or he chokes Muhammad out via rear naked choke. So you're saying there's a stoppage either direction. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Fading the main for leverage is my move this week and hoping for an easy decision. So Josh, so leverage for what? Who are you grabbing instead of the main? I just hate to not play a 5-round fight. Vettori is dirt cheap. I think Vettori scores a ton of points. I also think he actually wins. So I have Vettori in my lineup. I hate to pass up 5 rounds. I'll only pass up 5 rounds if I know it won't go the distance, which I don't know that. And if there's somebody in a 3-round fight that I'm positive is going to get a stoppage, because the name of the game is stoppages as far as points are concerned. So let me know who you're fading, why you're fading, meaning what undercard fights do you like much more than that? So these are our lineups, me versus Dan. I've only entered it into one. You see, I only have it in one league right now. None here because that's Dan's lineup, not mine. But once I end the stream, I'm going to pop into all the 50-50s. I like to do, the $25 ones, and I'll do a bunch of those. And we'll go from there. I had a bad week last week, so my balance is low. I got a deposit, but I do the same thing in DraftKings that I do in Monkey Knife Fights. I win, I usually play a couple hundred. I'll double it or almost double it, withdraw most of it, leave a little bit, and then move on. We doing extra for the DK content. You greedy. Unbelievable, Antsy. Tell you what, you win, we'll talk about it. So just so anybody watching this doesn't know, we have a free DraftKings contest. The link is in the description underneath this video. If you win the free contest, I'll Venmo you $15 straight up from my phone to yours. If you are a member, which means you click the join button, you have a beautiful crown in the comments, I'll send you $30. $30 pays for your membership for 6 months. It is tremendously helpful for us, and we would genuinely appreciate that. And it's a straight up investment if you think you can win our free DraftKings League. So the link is in the description. We have links to everything in there, but the free DraftKings League is in there as well. Click it, join, play. It costs you nothing. If you lose, who cares? It literally costs nothing. You're not replacing with high salary. You're leaving 1K on the table, more leverage. Odds are I lose, but if I win, I won't tie with 100 people. So you're a GPP guy. Is that what you're saying? You play those big, chasing 20,000, 30,000, 100,000 bucks. I definitely respect that. I like the single entry cash games, and I like to do 50-50s and double ups. It's consistent money every single week. Obviously, I would love a $20,000 payout, but the reality is it's that consistent money that I enjoy every single week, which is why my wife's looking for houses when I don't want to move. Ancy, I was talking about Bet Online, $20 bonus being added. Oh, yes, 100%. Yes, sorry, Ancy. That's exactly it. If you win the league and you have, if you win the DraftKings league, create a Bet Online account, and we have Bet Online will credit your account $20 free, 0 strings attached, free money to bet. So 2 things. 1, join that league. 2, go to wewantpicks.com/bets. Sign up for Bet Online, create an account, and if you win the DraftKings league, they'll give you free money. And if you don't know where to spend your money, check out our betting guide. You have many hours left, and we'll get that to you. The other thing with you play some cash too. Nice. Oh, you hit twice last year. The big one. Good for you. What we're doing with the website. So wewantpicks.com/bets. Right there, you have options for deposit matches, free money, a whole bunch of different options depending on what you're looking for. With that being said, we're also adding the live fight feed. So there's going to be a live feed on that page that has the betting odds. So if you don't know this, literally the betting odds change during the fight. So after the end of the first round, they'll change the odds depending on how that round went. So depending on what a fight looks like, you can jump on some really cool odds. We will have that feed up on wewantpicks.com/bets. Not for tomorrow or tonight, but we will get that there. So, that should be your one-stop shop. Ankalaev was -700 favorite against Craig. Yeah. When you win, how do you get your money from Bet Online when you win? So when I win on Bet Online, you can withdraw it any way you want. There's a bunch of different options. I do the Bitcoin, and I'm not like a crypto guy at all, but the Bitcoin is instant. So you click a button, bang, it's in the Bitcoin account. From there, you can put it in your bank account. You can do whatever you want with it from there. But I like the Bitcoin. It's the fastest, easiest way back and forth. You can do a check, takes a little longer. If you have enough money, they'll do a bank deposit. But Bitcoin is instant. It is easy. And you don't need to be a crypto guy. It's super easy. And no strings, no fees, nothing weird. Paul Craig looks quite angry. Him and Hill should be a finish. I have Paul Craig. People are crazy about Jamal Hill, understandably so. I have seen more people picking Jamal Hill than I've really ever seen in a matchup like this on an undercard. I have not seen anybody else on Paul Craig other than me and Dan. Even Jacob's not. So we're either geniuses or idiots. We'll see what happens tonight. But I think Paul Craig's grappling and relentlessness will be the difference. We've seen Hill get taken down at will. At will. So we'll see what happens. He does have that power, and that power is always an issue. Live betting for Vola after round 1 may be a good-looking move this week. You know what? I haven't done a bunch of the live betting because here's the reality. When I'm watching pay-per-views, I'm drinking and I'm eating and I'm watching pay-per-views. So if I'm looking at my phone, it's just to see what happened. I'm not engaged enough to play more money. But I'm going to have to start, especially if I'm live streaming the pay-per-views and I have all my monitors set up here. There's absolutely no reason why I can't do all of the above. But yeah, check out the live betting for sure. There's definitely some opportunities there. I'll be on here for a couple more minutes. Any other questions, let me know. If you are new and you don't know who we are, what we do, my name's Angelo. I have managed fighters for 15 years. We also have Dan Kramer on the show, professional fighter out of American Top Team. He was on The Ultimate Fighter, in Bellator, fought the middleweight tournament, whole nine. Nick Newell just fought last night for Bellator, and our buddy Jacob. We do fight breakdowns every single week, DraftKings breakdowns every single week, betting guides every single week, monkey knife fight picks every single week, 100% free. There is no paywall. There is no subscription. If you want to donate, please do. You want to super chat, please do. It'd be tremendously helpful if you click the join button. And if you can't support us financially, make a comment, like, subscribe. Every little bit helps. We genuinely appreciate it. So any other questions before I hop off here in a few minutes, let me know. I don't know if we're live streaming tonight. Here's the thing. I'm not going to live stream from here. This is my office. It's too hot. And honestly, it's not an enjoyable experience to watch fights in here. It just isn't. Plus, I got a couple buddies coming over. And what am I going to do? Tell them to sit in the corner and shut up and look at my monitor. So I can't live stream from here. I can live stream from my media room where we have, the big TV and the couch and everything. The problem is I don't have a camera for there yet. The one I'm looking at right now, the wires run through the wall. It's nice and clean. I'm not undoing that. I do have another microphone, a boom mic. So after this, I'm going to go to Best Buy, figure something out with a camera, and see if I can get a live stream up and running. I saw somewhere the Hill's takedown defense was 53%. I actually think it might have been higher than that. But the takedowns he defends are earlier in the fight when he's fresh. The ones that he doesn't defend is later in the fight when he's exhausted. And plus, he hasn't had enough UFC fights for the stats to be that meaningful, right? All those stats are basically only based on UFC fights. And one fight that's one way or another really skews those stats. But, I just see, thank you, Unis. Very appreciated. What the hell was I saying? Oh yeah. So the takedown defense. So few fights could skew those stats, but again, Dan and I are like the only people on Paul Craig in the world. Thank you very much, Jonas. So we may be complete morons. Like, why did you idiots pick Paul Craig? Of course he was going to get knocked out. We see something special. We see the takedowns, the grappling, and we think he gets that done. So we'll see what happens tonight. A couple hours. Will Peterson missing weight play a role in the match against Hooper? I think so. Hooper is skinny, light. He's not a physically imposing person. The way Peterson missed weight, there's sort of two weight misses, in my opinion. And, this is just from me making weight for many years. And we've had this conversation with Dan and Nick as well. There's I did everything possible. I sucked every ounce of liquid out of my body and I still missed weight miss. Then there's the 3 pounds. I could keep going. What's the point? Take some of my purse weight miss. That's the one that Peterson did. And that one can be beneficial. You got a little extra weight. You didn't pull yourself, you didn't suck yourself completely dry. And you should not be exhausted. So it may be an indication that your training camp was trash. But, so when somebody misses weight by 1 pound, I'm always like, oh man, that's a problem. When somebody misses weight by 5 pounds, 5's a lot, 3 pounds, 2 pounds, I'm like, yeah, you know what? He may be a little fresher. So I think it could benefit him. He's a physical fighter. Chase Hooper is not a physical fighter. So I think that physicality pushing forward, as long as he's not exhausted, I think he beats Chase Hooper. The Red Pill Owl. Hill had a broken hand in the Stoic fight that allowed the 6 takedowns. Can I be very different? It could be. And people are very high on Hill, and he's a favorite, a big favorite. So it could be, especially because anytime somebody has the knockout power, that's always there waiting. And what's funny is they basically both have to fight perfect fights. Hill has to fight a perfect fight to not get taken down. And Paul Craig has to fight a perfect fight to not get hit in the mouth. So it'll be a very interesting fight. I'm high on it. I put money on it. I put him in my lineup. But I'm not going to sit here and say he's a guarantee. You're an idiot if you don't think so, because you're not an idiot if you don't think so. It's a scary fight for sure. Josh, 50% on Craig in GPPs. Yeah, I mean, he's probably a great GPP play for that exact reason. Do you think Collier could get the win? Better reach, more experience in UFC? 100%. 100%. Dan picked Collier to win. If we pull up Dan's bets, so we did the betting guide already. Hold on, let me pull up the bets for you real quick. I'm going over my allotted time. Let me pull up the betting for you. Please hold while I pull up the betting for you, and I'll show you Dan's bets on Collier. Damn, my computer is slow. Continue to hold. It'll take me about 49 minutes to pull this up. Holy crap, this is slow. So I have a 2017 MacBook. I was waiting for them to announce new ones last week, and then they didn't. So now I'm like in this weird situation where my computer's way too old for what I need it to do. But I don't want to be the idiot who buys a new computer like a week before they announce the new computers. So let me share my screen so you can see Danny Boy's bets on Collier. All right. So here's Danny. Clean this up for you. Kapow. Nice and easy. So Dan had Jake Collier wins by decision and Jake Collier money line. So we think Jake is faster, the more well-rounded fighter, and he's a big dude, even though he started his career at middleweight, and then he ballooned up and just got absolutely massive. He seems to be taking it a little more seriously now, and we think he wins the fight. Felipe, does he have another bet here? Let's see. No more Collier. Felipe, I actually have a slight edge to Felipe if I'm just doing a straight pick, and that's just because Felipe is he has better cardio. The cardio of Collier worries me. With that being said, I think he's the better fighter, the more well-rounded fighter, and Dan got him at plus 145. Those are solid odds. Those are solid odds for that matchup, which realistically should be a pick 'em. Let me check the comments real quick, and then I'm probably going to have to go. Hot take. This will be Figgy's last fight before moving up. This cut was terrible. Yeah, that weigh-in was bad. That cut was terrible. I completely agree. That is a very possible outcome. Is it bad? In my lineups, I really have no exposure to the first 7 fights. It's not bad. I actually do find that I do my best when I have random no-name undercard fighters. Anti-music, yes, sir. It's really the only way he wins. I got Philippe inside the distance next to that too. You're saying because of the cardio? Cardio is the concern. Thanks, J2Fly. Appreciate that. Guys, I'm going to shut this down in like 1 minute. Any questions very quickly, let me know. Anybody here, if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It's tremendously helpful. Doesn't cost you a thing. Appreciate everybody's feedback, everybody's comments. You guys are always fantastic. Everybody wearing a crown in the comments section, you're amazing. If you don't have a crown and you want one, click the join button. That would be appreciated. Like Josh said, enjoy the fights. I might see you tonight. I might not. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm going to head to Best Buy in a few minutes and see if I can rig something up. Anyway, thank you all very much. It is incredibly appreciated. Good luck to every single one of you. Hopefully you get rich based off of our picks. And if you want, send us a tip. WeWantPicks.live/tips. There's links in the description. Thank you all very much. I will see you guys hopefully later. Adios.